keynote speakers for the program. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. This is Rahim, because I'm going to be brief. And I can see the lights on y'all, and you can see me. It's just I like, we designed this room to be multi-purpose and multifunctional, and I kind of like it when we use these lights. I forget, we didn't pay too much for them, but the opera lights here, I like this here. Oh, I'm leading myself into something I was going to introduce to y'all anyway. For like dimming the lights, like having a banquet type setting, we won't have this spotlight, a floodlight, but we have entertainment and programs here. My son, he was our youngest before Barack. Baby Barack, he's walking around here 14 years later. We decided to start over. Allah chose us to have two more beautiful children. Barack and Dawa, they're here. But our older children, Mumtaz was the youngest, and he's getting married on the 11th. He picked the date. And I kept telling him, I used to see him getting on his bicycle in the snow. I just shook my head. Sometimes I was just glad he was going. He's getting on the metro train, driving to his girlfriend's house. Riding his bike to his girlfriend's house. So I said, y'all come live with us if you get married, And I was serious. I told him, I said, we Muslims. I said, you got to get married. And lo and behold, it's stuck. He must have heard me. I probably said it over 1,000 times. But he's marrying a sister. They were born in the Nation of Islam under Minister Farrakhan, but I think they grew up, I don't know. I don't know the history, but her mother, which I think she said she might come here. The Echo, her name is Leslie Echo. And I'm looking at Sister Rob. Her son's name is Leslie, but his future mother-in-law, her name is Leslie. And the girl, Karina, and I haven't met her brother. I think his name is Rasul, I'm not sure. And what's the daughter? I met the other sister, Karina, and I got it, Khalifa. Yeah, Khalifa. So you see, they all got Muslim names and they're Muslims. So I'm like, man, you should have told me that from the beginning. I wouldn't have worried about him so much. He didn't tell me a whole lot of things. But alhamdulillah, we got a wedding day set. And he said, well, I want to have my reception here at the Mosque. I said, that's smart. And if you figure out any other way where I don't have to go in my pocket, just keep on coming with it. So, and he said, you all are all invited and welcome. So that's November 11th. And do we have a time?
There should be a piece for marriage. That's Armistice Day.
That's who?
Armistice Day.
That's Armistice Day.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask somebody to pick the 11th. Is that a Saturday or what day? That's a Sunday? That's a Sunday. Did they pick Sunday for a reason? Oh, well, I don't know. Well, if they work, all he drives for Amazon, a van for a company. What's the name of that company? Yeah, it's a company for Amazon. Yeah, and he works all the time, except for Mondays and Tuesdays. And he's young, so I don't bother him. Good he working. Yeah, alhamdulillah. So, y'all welcome. We're going to have, I think, 60 seats in here. Is it 60 we counted out? Yeah, right here. We're going to cater the food. We're going to have the food and decorate. And anybody want to come by and help us decorate? We got, Robin, I saw him come in the mail, a bunch of slip white things that we're going to pull over the seats, and ribbons and bowls and all this kind of stuff, and flowers, and so it's going to be, wedding reception, and I think we can handle it. Yeah. I think we can handle it, and I think her children are going to come and help also. But I didn't mean to go that direction, but when I noticed the lights, I thought about, I envisioned how we're going to make this room look on the day for his wedding, and he'll be our first child married. Alhamdulillah. So I told him, I already told him and Karina, I said, I want some grandchildren. just know that. Or else we're going to have some issues. Real issues. Because we're not having no more babies at least. But I want some babies in my house. Inshallah. Okay, the convention was phenomenal. The convention, the spirit was so high, it was beautiful. And as far as we've come, the road we've traveled as a community under the leadership of Imam Mohammed, I wouldn't expect it much less. We're getting better and better at planning and organizing and dealing with and avoiding issues that cause things to not go the way you might want them to go. We're getting a little smarter, a little wiser, and we trust Allah more now. And the video is excellent. We shot with that 4K camera, and I remember when I used to hear quotes coming in to my father about who's going to film the convention and how much money they want to spend, and he was spending that money, and then we get the tape back. I'm like, I'm not pointing no fingers at nobody. You know, some of them had good videotapes, they just held on to them. I don't know what happened. But we used to have a time getting things, but technology has caught up with us today. So much so, I ordered some of the freshest, leanest ground beef delivered to my house and free of charge. And it was like in a few hours, right? You ordered that. I think you told me you ordered that. Next thing you know, the doorbell was ringing. So I made spaghetti the other day with beef in it. You know, I know a lot of y'all don't eat meat no more, but everything in moderation. So I think we were still boiling the noodles before the meat got I'm doing a lot. But technology is something. That technology is something else, and we got to really show appreciation and thank Brother Akbar for the insight that he had. That all these things need management, you know. And your protection, because like he said, everything that Allah puts out to benefit us, Shaitan is trying to figure out how to take it away from its aim or take it off the course that Allah intended for it. And we've been blessed to have him here. And anybody here, and anybody that's been following us and listening to our programs know the benefit and the top notch. And I woke this morning thinking about how talented and how blessed we are to have leadership, Imam. You know, I was echoing, I was thinking about Imam Sharif because we've been working with Swift, Neighbors in Faith, which has a beautiful billboard right out here on 171st Street that you can see from 294 from the expressway. Big billboard that says one God, and then it's got three faiths, which we join partnerships, Muslims, Christians, and Jews, and which we've been working with them for a few years now. And it's a wonderful, beautiful sign. And we're traveling, inshallah, next month to Canada for Parliaments of the World's Religion. And Imam Sharif communicated with us at our last little, we were about to touch bases. And I think it was the same day we were touching bases, kind of getting our organizing what we're going to present there, because we have 2 days. We're going to present on Friday and Saturday. I think the Friday presentation will be on our Neighbors in Faith experiences that we've had here in the South Suburbs, and Saturday we're going to have an introducing Imam Deen Mohammed and his life's work, and have questions and answers after that. I'm really excited about that. And then we're going to come right back here because the Sunday is the first Sunday. So inshallah, we'll have a report for you there. And we have an excellent program on the first Sunday. She's retired now, but I believe her name is Snyder. Please forgive me if I got it wrong. The rabbi, she was the head of the president for years out here in the South Suburbs. And she's agreed to come and do a presentation or give us a speech on Judaism. And we really look forward to that. And there was something else that I wanted to touch bases on. Convention is beautiful. There was something else, but if it come back to me, let me see. Neighbors in Faith, and I travel. I mentioned Imam Sharif. He had mentioned something. I was complimenting. Maybe this is what I was talking about. I wanted to compliment our leadership. Our leadership. We have an excellent leadership. I'm here, and I couldn't do this. 10 years. It's almost been 10 years. 7 to 8 years. We were meeting in D.C., Chicago. We're mostly D.C., Chicago, and New York. 2-3 times a year, trying to form a governmental, a lot of Imam even warned us about getting involved in politics and things. But I saw the great opportunity. Our country was formed, our democracy was formed on the concept of by the people, for the people, and of the people, And I said, I was invited to join a national group, or a group of Muslim national organizations that are national in scope, and that's us. So we have our shuras, and just like other communities around the country, because they're more tight-knit and we're more loosely, culturally, loosely spread out all over the country, and so African, long story short, black people have a hard time coming together and agreeing on anything. It would have took more than 10 years for us to form a national shura. But I think under this, with the protection under this governmental system, the good news is that USCMO is the United States Council of Muslim Organizations. That is the name of this organization that I'm speaking of which I'm a founding member. Because we're organizations, I wouldn't say I'm a founding president, but it makes me think of, the picture on Rushmore, maybe they'll carve some of us out in the mountains or something, I don't know. But it's a really, I think it's a pretty awesome milestone to know that we're following in the footsteps of great founders of our country, and we just signed the bylaws. It took us, years of hours and work and study under expert tutelage and professional advice of, we have 2 national organizations of law firms that are national in scope. We have ourselves, the Mosque, Ministry of Imam Deen, Mohammed, national in scope, and we also have representatives from the Pakistani community, the Arab communities, and these organizations, they do what we do. Like they plan events and have national. They all have national conventions, yearly conventions, and it's almost no limit. The sky's the limit as far as what we can provide. And now we've accepted as voting members shuras. So they're national shuras, so much bigger than us, that are all over the country, and we have a national shura. So imams associated in our community can come and vote, and this national organization, U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations, the website, I think is newly up. It may be still being worked on, but it's to be released. It's real easy to use, and it's an excellent uscmo.com. But our shuras, our communities can have representatives, and if any issues for Muslims nationwide, we can call a press conference and have a consensus and have our voices heard, like that, And so for no other reason, that's a really good thing. And, we like to carry our own weight, but, you're stronger like this than you are like this. And I remember Imam Mohammed said the smaller group should join the larger group. So Muslim unity is something that I see that's a true value. But a lot of people are slow to see this. But when it's put in perspective, other religious groups, Jews, Christians, they all have political organizations that provide help or assistance for them so that their voice is heard. And that's something I just want to put out there. And I want to say that our imams are the best. I mean, top flight, like scholars. We got scholars that cannot be matched. Not one or two. And I remember Imam Sharif said at the Jummah, at the Imam's meeting, he said, well, he was complimenting my family. He's really proud of my family. I said, but I'm just doing what my nature tells me to do, to take care of my wife and my children. But he always shows his how impressed he is with me and my children. My father even said some things before. He's not just repeating what he heard my father say. I believe he sincerely admires me because we've got to know each other over 10 years. And, Imam Sharif has been close with the Mosque. He's co-sat an advisor on our advisor board, and attended, and he's attended almost every event we've had. So I consider him as not just a leader, as a friend. So what he was sharing, he has a real human heart. He's military, but military intelligence, and he went real high in the Air Force, as high as you can go in the Air Force. But he has a really good heart. He's a loving person and a real human heart. And he was trying to let the imams know that what I'm doing is something that's honorable. I'm trying to look after the interests and the legacy of my father. I'm not about to bicker and fight with who's going to get the best cook by the night or whatever. When I'm standing around surrounded by capable people, I'm like, you just do your job. Y'all do your jobs, and I'm going to do my job. And alhamdulillah. And that's what I hope to see us continue to shine. And I think USCMO will be a vehicle where we can now offer assistance. And whenever we have events or programs, they'll be posted at that site, and they'll be shared with the American. And we're independent. You hear I didn't say we're sponsored by Saudi or Lebanon or any of those Muslim countries. If they want to help, they have to give a no strings attached donation. Right. And we do accept all forms of donations in the mosque as too. If my bank will take it, we will take it. If it's legal tenure, we will accept it. Okay, so that's what I wanted to speak about today, and I wanted to say congratulations to all of us. And we're going to be sharing information in the future, probably emails. So look for emails about Savior's Day. Because we had a wonderful, wonderful time in New Orleans for Savior's Day, but we got to talk to the committee about some things, because we were having some issues with two issues with the venue, finding a suitable venue, and we hear that the flights are really expensive coming from Chicago. So if y'all hear something better, let us know. Otherwise, we got to do some reorganizing, inshallah, and we'll have Savior's Day at the best place for all of us, inshallah. But not until we talk to the committee and speak to the believers, because that's in New Orleans. I know they're really, really excited about Savior's Day, and I haven't spoken with them yet. Thank you. Took up too much time. Assalamu alaikum. We have our Claire Mohammed School. I don't know who's going to announce, or you're going to announce? Okay, so I'm going to turn this back over to Brother Akbar. Imam, he's out getting us some dinner. So you all don't run out of here. Inshallah, we have some good food after the program. Thank you.